Staffers on the House Oversight Committee are scheduled to meet with lawyers for the Epstein estate tomorrow in New York City. The meeting comes as the estate is beginning to turn over materials to congressional investigators as they comply with an oversight panel subpoena. That subpoena would, among other materials, compel the release of a so-called birthday book that reportedly includes a letter and drawing from Trump to Epstein. House Speaker Mike Johnson, meanwhile, has been working overtime to defend Trump amid the backlash with this new and bizarre argument. Watch.
He's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down.
Johnson's office has since put out a statement saying the speaker reiterating what the victim's attorney said, which is that Donald Trump, who kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago, was the only one more than a decade ago willing to help prosecutors expose Epstein for being a disgusting child predator.
It's a bit of a stretch from being an FBI informant.
House Oversight Committee ranking member Robert Garcia joins us now. So, Congressman, it seems like tomorrow is shaping up to be a big day. And will part of the materials that the Oversight panel receives be the birthday book? Are you going to get this tomorrow?
It's looking highly likely. We've been working, of course, with the Epstein estate. Democrats have been forcing, as you know, Republicans to take votes that they don't want to take. We got the subpoena for the Epstein files and are waiting the DOJ to release all those documents and continue to stonewall. We've pushed to get this birthday book and note, which I should remind everyone, Donald Trump has said does not exist. He says that, no, this birthday note that we know is in the hands of the Epstein estate, that does exist. We should be getting confirmation tomorrow. We should be receiving the book and all the Epstein documents from the estate tomorrow, and our intention is to make it public. Our intention is to ask the question, Mr. President, you said this note does not exist. It'll hopefully be in our possession this week, and we're ensuring that every document necessary to bring justice for these victims that we've, of course, heard this just last week, which has been, I think, very hard for the public to come to terms that the White House is covering these horrific information, these files, these crimes up. And so it's going to be a big week.
So to be clear, though, how quickly do you think you'll be able to make the birthday book, public, visible to all of the rest of us? And is there anything else you are anticipating you could get your hands on tomorrow that the public should know about now?
We're going to make the information available as soon as we can. Obviously, we want to make sure that what we get is authentic. We have to have review it. We got to make sure there are no and there's no information that somehow impacts the victims or the survivors negatively. And so all of that's got to be made and assessed very quickly. But I feel confident in our conversations with the Epstein estate that in this next day or so, we should be receiving that book. We're also going to have a team of folks in New York to check the authenticity in person. And so all of that should be happening in the next day or so, and we intend to get out in front and again ask the president the question when he is caught in another lie, saying that this note does not exist. What is he going to tell the American public then, when we show the public, the community, the country, and most importantly the survivors, that this note does exist?
Well, let's actually play James Comer here, Congressman James Comer, the Republican chair of the Oversight Committee, because he kind of gives a bit of the game away. Take a listen.
You want to have a whole hearing, a whole entire hearing, not about the victims, not about a government cover-up, not about human trafficking, but about Maxwell, who you all were like begging to be deposed, and I did the subpoena. Now you want to, now you're mad because she exonerated Trump.
It feels like he's saying the quiet part out loud there, right? Because he's basically saying that this is all about trying to exonerate Donald Trump and distancing him from this ongoing scandal in pursuit of justice for these survivors and victims.
I mean, look, I think what James Comer said there is shameful. Let's be really clear. Maxwell is a sexual predator, a trafficker of women and girls. She herself sexually abused women. She's a liar. She is monstrous in her actions. And in fact, all of the survivors that we spoke with over the course of the last few weeks, whether they were in roundtables or groups or at the press conference they had, they were all clear that Maxwell never should have been moved to a prison and facility that actually allows her more freedom, more opportunity to walk and speak to folks within her family or her lawyers. It is shameful that Donald Trump's DOJ, and in fact, his own personal former attorney, had this meeting with Maxwell, allowed Maxwell to go on the record and give her side of the story in public, and essentially give this monster a facility and a place to stay where she was not eligible for in that kind of movement. So we're still demanding answers as to why Donald Trump and Pam Bondi decided to move Ghislaine Maxwell, who never should have been moved out of that prison, into that facility. Now, we can assume it's because he wants Ghislaine Maxwell to somehow maybe forget what she has seen, or perhaps somehow by giving some sort of pardon to her or some sort of reduced sentence, they're going to get her to say what they want. And that's something that we're on and continue to investigate, and we demand answers from the Federal Bureau of Prisons and the DOJ.
Well, Congressman, that's specifically what I wanted to ask you about, because I know you called for an inspector general to look into the circumstances surrounding Ghislaine Maxwell being moved to that Club Fed, as it is known, because of its nicer accommodations in Texas. What kind of answers are they giving? Are they just stonewalling you? How is it possible to make progress on getting answers and getting transparency if the DOJ is not refusing to cooperate? And so many victims have also said that DOJ has not reached out to them.
Right. I mean, look, let's be real clear. What's going on right now is a White House cover-up. There is a complete cover-up happening with the White House and with the DOJ. Now, we asked Attorney General Bondi these questions. We've reached out to the Federal Bureau of Prisons around why this transfer of Ghislaine Maxwell took place. There's been no response. Now, we just reached out a few days ago to the Inspector General, again, to demand answers. And it's also to ensure that the survivors get their questions answered. Over and over again, we heard from them last week that they were just disgusted. Their families are as well completely disgusted. They don't understand why Maxwell, who abused them personally, who many said would walk them from their apartments to Jeffrey Epstein's home to be abused and raped. That is the experience. That's the way they view Ghislaine Maxwell. And for her to have this kind of reduced sentencing prison arrangement, as you know, is crazy. And the American people are sick and tired of the lies, and they could clear this whole scandal and cover up and could clear the whole thing up if they just release the files. And the truth is they know, as well as everybody else, that Trump and others are in the files. Pam Bondi has said herself, which is why this cover up continues.
So, Congressman, we have the continued sort of dragging of their feet on the Epstein issue and all the transparency people are demanding there. We have continued tension in American cities, out on the streets, potential escalation soon in Chicago. And now we have a looming fight over government funding. Are Democrats going to move to let the government shut down?
I think Democrats have got to be tough and do whatever it takes to stop the Donald Trump agenda. And look, I think Donald Trump right now is proving that every day it's another march to authoritarianism. It's another day where he rolls back democracy. What he's doing with the budget right now as it relates to essentially picking and choosing what he wants to fund. Democrats can't play that game. We have got to stand tough and push back. And I think the government, we know where we're headed. We have to stand tall. What are we going to do? Pass a budget and allow Donald Trump essentially to create and pick and choose what he wants to fund? So I think in this moment, I hope that we've learned our lessons from what happened the last time, where unfortunately, as a Congress, and particularly on the Senate, we caved. We need to stand strong and use every tool available to us, even if it means shutting down Trump's agenda. And that's all got to be on the table.
You think your colleagues have the stomach for it?
We better have the stomach for it. Absolutely. I think the American public is sick and tired of what Donald Trump is doing, and they want us to fight with everything we've got, and it's got to be part of it.